Welcome back to GM Vision. It's time for our Week 11 picks. We're sitting at 148 overall on our game picks and 18-6 on props. We've been consistent every week and we're killing it with the props. I'm going to be breaking down every matchup, which games I'm betting on, which ones I'm staying away from, and what the best types of bets will be for each game. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Also, turn on your post notifications because my Week 11 prop bets and parlays video drops on Friday. That's where I'll cover player props, touchdown scores, and spreads, and we'll put together a few parlays. With all that being said, let's dive right into the games. To kick it off on Thursday Night Football, we have the Jets at the Patriots. And this game is going to be a primetime spot for Drake May to continue to show why he is the odds-on favorite to win MVP. He's been playing some great football along with the rest of this offense. I think they continue that against the Jets defense that lost their two best players at the trade deadline. But this is a divisional game and it's a short week, so I think you could see some sloppy play in this one. The Jets are feeling pretty good about themselves coming off a win, so I think that could make this one a little bit tighter than it should be. And then finally, what we've been waiting for all year, the Patriots finally got the run game going. They've decided to give Travion Henderson the workload, which I've been hoping for all year long. He looked great and had 2 long touchdown runs, and I think that'll really take this Patriots offense to the next level. And then on the other side of the ball, you have Breece Hall, fresh off a lot of trade rumors, had a great game this past weekend and helped them beat Cleveland. When looking at the game as a whole, we're going to take the Patriots to get the win at home. They're just the better overall team, and they've got a lot more to play for. Like I talked about, this is a divisional game on a short week. Could be a little weird, so we are going to pass betting-wise. Now we have an interesting one. The Commanders on the road against the Dolphins, with the Dolphins having a dominant win over the Buffalo Bills, where really nobody gave them a shot. It seems like Miami always gets them at least once a year, so I'm not going to read too much into it. But at least for some Dolphins fans out there, you might not be looking at a full rebuild. This will be Tua versus Mariota. Jay Daniels will still be out. Both these teams are capable of playing good and very bad football, so this one is a little hard to predict, but I do think both running backs in this one will have good games. Achane's coming off a great game against the Bills. He's been one of the best running backs this year. And then you have Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt going up against this Dolphins defense, who played James Cook really well last week, but they do struggle in general against running backs. So we are going to take the Dolphins to get the win at home. If this game was away, we might pick the Commanders. And I do think this one is a little bit of a toss-up, so we are going to focus on betting props in this one. Most likely Achane total yards. We got another good one, the Bucs on the road against the Bills. Bills coming off a tough loss against Miami. And then the same with the Bucs. They're coming off a tough loss against the Patriots. Both teams looking to get back on track. Anytime the Bills have had success this year on offense, James Cook has played really well. They're really going to have to get him going against a tough Bucs run defense. And for the Bucs, it's going to be the connection between Ibuka and Mayfield. They finally got their connection going again against the Patriots after it being a little off the past few weeks. And I think that connection really shows out in a big game against the Bills. This game looks to be a shootout, and it's a big game against two good teams. I think you're going to see Josh Allen really put this game on his shoulders, and you're really going to see him get a lot of yards on the ground this game, even potentially a touchdown. With that being said, I'm going to take the Bills at home, squeaking one out against the Bucs. We're going to take the over in this one. Two really good offenses going head-to-head, and this will also be a good game to bet some props. Now we got a division rivalry, the Bengals at the Steelers. You got two of the oldest quarterbacks in the league, Rodgers versus Flacco. And looking at this matchup, I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are in for a good day. The Steelers secondary hasn't been very good this year. Flacco's been able to find both Chase and Higgins downfield. I think they'll both have success in this one. While the Steelers beat the Colts, who are arguably the hottest team at the time, everyone was up on the Steelers. And then this past week, they really had a terrible all-around game. So this one's really going to come down to which defense steps up. The Bengals have been bad all year long, blowing leads to teams in games they should have won. The Steelers, while they haven't been great, have had some bright spots throughout the season. That is going to be the reason that we end up taking them at home. Divisional game, anything can happen, so we are going to pass betting-wise. We have another interesting one, the Chargers on the road in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. This is another matchup between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. The last one came in the Jaguars' miracle comeback against them in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence is 2-0 against Justin Herbert, but the Chargers are playing better football right now. This Chargers wide receiver trio has been very good all year, but the Chargers really want to run the ball first. And that's the same with the Jaguars. The Jaguars really want to establish a run. That's when they've been the most successful this year. And I think they do that against this Chargers defense. Both teams are trying to get healthy. The Jaguars are looking to get Brian Thomas Jr. back in this one. And if they do, I think they can get the win at home. We're going to have to keep an eye on the injury report for both teams in this game. It's going to be a little bit of a toss-up, so we're going to focus on betting some of the props. But if the Jags can get healthy, we're going to take them to get the win on the road. Here we have another divisional matchup with the Panthers traveling to Atlanta to play the Falcons. It's usually always a good game between these two, except for maybe the game they had earlier this year where the Panthers absolutely blew them out. But I do think this one will be a lot closer. The story in this one is going to be Rico Dowdle versus Bijan Robinson. Both of these offense are at their best when they're having success through their run game. Both backs have been electric throughout this year. I think they both have good games in this one, but both of these passing attacks have been pretty inconsistent. The Falcons have a slight edge. They've got some better weapons. Drake London has been balling as of late. And I think this will be a directional game for both teams. And what I mean by that is whichever team wins this game feels a lot better about themselves, they have some playoff hopes, and whichever team loses really doesn't. This is a big divisional matchup, and I think they end up splitting on the year. The Falcons get the win at home. This game is a toss-up, so we are going to stick to betting props in this one. Now we have an interesting one. The Packers on the road against the Giants. It's going to be a battle between Jackson Dart and Jordan Love, which you can say arguably that Jackson Dart's been a lot more consistent than Jordan Love. This Packers offense really hasn't been able to get it going through the air. I think that's going to lead us to having a defensive battle. We've seen both of these defenses play really well this year. I think you're going to see it again in this game. And that's going to lead us to the turnover battle. Who ends up having more turnovers? I think that'll be the key to this game. The Giants did just fire their head coach. Usually a team either plays like shit or it sparks a bunch of energy and they end up winning the next game. I think it goes in the wrong direction for them in their first game without him, and the Packers get a win on the road. But for all those reasons, we are going to pass betting-wise. Now we have the Bears in a rivalry game on the road against the Vikings, and I think a key for both of these teams is going to be their defense playing well. Both offenses have been pretty inconsistent throughout the year, but we have seen both of their defense step up when needed. And it's going to be a game where it's J.J. McCarthy versus Caleb Williams, the two young quarterbacks going head-to-head. Caleb Williams has found some consistency and has been playing better ball when they need it. J.J. McCarthy has been very up and down. He hasn't really had very many great performances, but he's made the plays when he needs to, similar to Williams. But for both teams, it's going to be about finishing. That's easy to say about the Bears. They've been down in a lot of games and have had great comebacks to win. But I think this Vikings team is a little too good to have a miracle comeback against. Their defense is a little bit better. So we are going to take them to get the win at home. And I think this will be a good game to bet some props on. Now we have the Texans on the road in a divisional game against the Titans. Cam Ward versus C.J. Stroud. Stroud coming back from a concussion should get this Texans offense back on track. They haven't been very good this year, but they've been better than Cam Ward and the Titans. And with all the struggles that this Tennessee offense has had, I think they're going to struggle big time against this Texans pass rush. I think they force a few turnovers and really turn this game on its head. They already beat the Titans 26-0 earlier in the year, and I think you're going to have a similar result here. So we're going to take the Texans on the road, getting the win against the Titans, and we are going to pass betting-wise. Now we have one of the best games of the week, the Seahawks on the road against the Rams. A battle of two great offenses. You got JSN versus Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. JSN and Puka are probably the two best receivers in football right now. But it's also going to be a battle between two really good defenses. Both of these D-lines get after the opposing quarterback. While I think both teams will be pretty explosive offensively, you're going to see some pretty impactful plays from each defense. So who's going to take care of the ball better, Matthew Stafford or Sam Darnold? I think it's going to be Matthew Stafford, which is the reason we are going to take the Rams to get the win at home. This game, it's hard to predict as well, so we're going to stay away from the spread, but we are going to bet some props. Now we have another very interesting game, another divisional matchup, the Broncos on the road in Arrowhead against the Chiefs. And the big story is going to be this Kansas City offense against this Denver defense. Obviously, the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and this Kansas City offense has been clicking ever since they got Rashee Rice back in the lineup. And I do think this Chiefs offense will continue to roll. If the Broncos want to stay in this one, they're going to have to try to control the football when they have it. They can do that by running the ball effectively with Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. The Chiefs have been susceptible to the run. All year long. And again, this is a divisional AFC West matchup. Anything can happen in these games. But I just don't like what I've been seeing from this Denver offense. They haven't been consistent at all. They've been making it very hard on themselves to score. And if this turns into a high-scoring game, I have a lot more faith in the Chiefs. So we are going to take them to get the win at home, and we are going to take their money line. Now we have the 49ers on the road against the Cardinals. Both teams coming off some tough losses, but both of their defenses have been pretty consistent this year. And I think that'll be the story in this game. The Niners are going to try to get McCaffrey going. He's pretty much their entire offense. I think if they want to win this game, they're really going to have to get some of the other weapons. Maybe George Kittle involved a lot more. And then for the Cardinals, their weapons have been pretty consistent as well. Trey McBride's been pretty good all year long. They're trying to get Marvin Harrison Jr. going a little bit. I think they will have some success in this one against this Niners defense, but I think the Niners are the better team overall. I think they'll make a few more plays. So we do have them getting the win on the road. The over-under is a little high in this one, but for the reasons that we talked about, I think both defenses have been playing pretty well. We are going to take the under at 49.5. Now we have the Baltimore Ravens on the road in Cleveland. I think the story in this one is going to be Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry going up against this really good Browns defense. I think they'll have success in this one, but they could struggle early and the Browns could hang around. Depending on what the Browns do on offense, which usually they don't do much, they could hang around if their defense plays well enough. It is a divisional game, so a lot of these are closer than they should be, but it's just impossible to pick the Browns to beat good teams when their offense is so bad. The Ravens defense has been playing better as of late, and that is why we're going to take them to get the win on the road in Cleveland, but we are going to pass for the reasons we talked about. I think the Browns could hang around with a really good defense, and hopefully at some point, Shedeur gets a shot in this one. Now we have a really good one on Sunday night, the Lions on the road against the Eagles. And this game is really going to be centered around physicality, especially in the run game. Both teams can run the football very effectively. Saquon's still trying to get it going consistently, and the Lions have been running the ball pretty effectively all year. With those being pretty equal, I think it's going to come down to both passing attacks. Who can make more plays? Is it going to be A.J. Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown? And you got to side with the Lions in that. The Eagles have struggled to be consistent, throwing the ball all year long. The Lions have been one of the best passing attacks throughout the past few years. And it comes down to Goff versus Jalen Hurts. Goff's probably better at throwing the ball and getting it downfield, and Hurts is better at running the ball and is very effective in this Eagles offense. This game is going to come down to the end, and I think the Lions make that extra play to get the win on the road. This is a toss-up, so we're going to focus on betting props in this game. Now for the final game on the slate, Monday Night Football, the Cowboys on the road in Vegas against the Raiders. The Raiders have been looking a lot better ever since the return of Brock Bowers. I think they're going to try to attack this Cowboys secondary with him, and I think they're going to do a good job of attacking this Cowboys secondary. They're really going to have to put up a lot of points if they want to hang with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Dak Prescott and those two receivers have had it going all season long. As long as they can keep those players healthy, I think they give the Raiders a really hard time on defense. And you can't look at this matchup without looking at the two running backs. Ashton Genty is looking to continue to build on his rookie season, and Javonte Williams has been playing some really good football. It's hard to have faith in either of these teams, but I have more faith in the Cowboys scoring points. So we are going to take them to get the win on the road in Vegas, and we are going to focus on betting props in this game. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we will have our specific props, anytime touchdown scores, and spreads video coming out on Friday. So for those specific lines, come back and check out that video and comment down below your picks for the week. What's your favorite matchup from the Week 11 slate? And if you haven't already, please like, please subscribe. It really goes a long way in helping this channel. And I'll catch y'all in Week 12.